Thank you for watching. If you're logging in live on YouTube at Blooming Light at Blooming Tribe, then it is Tuesday, August, I want to say the 12th, 2025, approximately 6:54 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you're logging in at a later time and date, this still might apply to you. There's a collective message and reading pertaining to karmic feminine energy that is infuriated right now. So here is the overall message. This is a karmic feminine that's possibly younger than the honorable feminine. This is a karmic feminine that dated honorable feminine's ex a year after her, possibly. I believe this karmic feminine started dating this masculine around the fall season of 2024. Okay, feminine broke up with this masculine around winter or close to the winter Christmas time 2023. So it's like he met her online. I believe he possibly met this karmic feminine online. Okay, that's how they came to be. And the duration of the connection between this karmic feminine and this masculine is not too different from the duration of this masculine with honorable feminine. I believe he could have dated our honorable feminine from around maybe September 2023 to December 2023. Okay, and then he got into other things after that, and then whatever took place, he ends up meeting this particular karmic feminine around the fall of 2024. Okay, they dated or messed around for about, again, the same time span, about 3 months. And this is a very convoluted situation, but I'm just going to stick to what the reading is so I don't get too far off. Okay, this karmic feminine is younger than honorable feminine. She knows who honorable feminine is. She knows all about honorable feminine. She may very well live in the same vicinity of honorable feminine or wherever honorable feminine has to be on a daily basis. She may very well live in the same complex, wherever feminine has to, the honorable feminine has to be, possibly right on top. Okay. Now, that's interesting all in itself, isn't it? Because how does that happen? Remember, honorable feminine, see, everybody keeps her out of the loop, literally speaking. So it's not like, she's connecting with any of these folks around the areas that she's in or anybody. It's not like that. So how is that possible? What's the likelihood of that? That's another day. Okay. Now it's going to get even more interesting. Okay. It's going to get even more interesting. This same karmic feminine is friends or possibly associates, friends, partners. I'm not getting relative, maybe just close friend, okay, of the cop that's in the same vicinity, in the same complex as the karmic feminine, and possibly wherever honorable feminine has to be on a daily basis. Okay. She's also friends. She's possibly roommating. Okay. She's friends. Wow. She's friends with maybe the friend or relative of a karmic masculine that had connections to the masculine that honorable feminine dated too. Okay, so she's got connections to that person's sibling, not the person that feminine dated, but the sibling of the karmic masculine that was, you know, harassing feminine, um, and that could have had a connection with who feminine was once dating. Okay, so see how this is getting all kind of weird. Okay, um, this is understatement of all time, man. Now, this karmic feminine is stalking honorable feminine 100%. Honorable feminine has caught her and a couple of her friends repeatedly. Okay? Literally, repeatedly. Physically, not just social media, not just, oh, because, you know, somebody put something at, no. She's connected the dots with that portion, but that's not how or why she knows emphatically. Okay? Visual scene. Okay? Understand. Okay? Literally. On foot and vehicle. Okay? Now, this is also the person that's a part of the noisemaking. So it's actually not one person. See, remember, I told you all that the way this kind of works, the noisemakers who's assigned to do, blase, 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 and it's usually more than one. Okay, it's rarely just one. It could be like, okay, I'll do it at this time span, and then you can do it at this time span. You know what I'm saying? The goal is to, okay. Okay, we're building. We're gonna get to the reading. I'm gonna show y'all the cards here. It's all here. It's all laid out. We'll get here. This is the person that follows feminine around, but makes it one of. I'm gonna have to rephrase that. One of. Okay. They also get people because they have friends. They got they know folks. Okay. So remember, wherever feminine has to be, wherever she has to be every day, this person and their people following her movement. If it's in the complex, it's almost like it's in on cue, almost, with the exception of anything that this person may have to do as a priority or as a schedule. Outside of anything to do with that, when they are present, okay, when they are present, woke and available, see where I'm going, then 100% feminine's movement, their movement. Okay? And swap between her and the roommate and anyone else that they're getting to do stuff. Okay? If feminine, in the complex that feminine has to be with her son or her children, or like I said, anywhere she's got to be on a regular everyday basis, where they live or where their children live, if feminine goes to the gym at that location, you can almost bet your bottom dollar they're going to go there. And it's going to be synchronized within a 10-minute radius. Okay? 10-minute span, bitch. Okay? If feminine decides, honorable feminine decides to, I like nature. I just, let me get some fresh air. We're not meant to be cooped up Humans aren't meant to be cooped up in these cemented drywalls nonstop. We were meant to be engaging and connecting with fresh air and Gaia and Earth. If feminine decides that she just want to walk around for that purpose, like get okay, come out of the manufactured buildings and get some freaking fresh air. Okay? Feminine values nature, she values trees, Gaia, Earth. She's intelligent, she knows, and she doesn't care about it not being something that mainstream society gets, especially religious based. Okay? So, but listen, if feminine, honorable feminine decides to do that, you can bet your bottom dollar either her or one of their, little clicky crews members will be showing up, some cases almost damn near might as well sit on the lap of feminine. How up close sometimes these motherfuckers attempt to get. Okay? And they'll display the odd behavior, okay, because they know that this honorable feminine is intuitive, and on some case they understand full well what they're doing, but they also are trying to play it off to make it seem like they're just doing life like everybody else. Everybody can do, because it's plausible. That's the whole thing about stalking. If you do it in a certain manner, you might be able to pass it off as happenstance. I like this restaurant. I decided I want me a salad dish. They ain't the only one. You know what I'm saying? Like anything is plausible. But they make it obvious when it's 5 people deep and within 5 minutes of each other, they all are going there and deciding they want the salad from the same restaurant. And they all decide to linger and just sit in the car and be weird and just sit. Really? Okay, I have to give the breakdown so y'all can understand the sickness here. Okay? Now, in terms of her dating, when she was dating this man, chances are he was similar, okay? Because this is not a reading about this man, really, and it's not a reading about him. It ain't about him being perfect, or that ain't it, because he had his own set of shit. He was involved. We already done talked about all that, okay? So chances are there was a lot of love bombing, all of the same things that maybe was, with the honorable feminine. This person could also claim to be a teacher and an oracle. On social media. He could have even called himself at some point helping her, or he could have, when they originally started dating, he could have thought he came up, he could have thought he got a younger, better version of honorable feminine. He could have thought that initially, and even helped. She could have been a part of the whole stalking on social media, the whole stealing, all of that. Okay? I'm just giving context. So, a part of humiliation rituals, so-called trying to clown the honorable feminine, as everybody typically does, to no avail, because she don't give a fuck. Now, he could have gave her money. He could have invested. The reason why I'm saying, when I show y'all the cards, you're going to see where I'm going. He could have gave her money, invested, blase, blase, woo. Okay. Now, what happened? This reading wasn't about like why they broke up, so I didn't really get all of that. But I just got that they did within a 3-month radius, a 3-month time span ish. Okay. And she started stalking. She started stalking him. She did not swallow that well. Okay. I'm not saying listen, that's not what this reading is. So I'm not saying that he didn't do anything wrong in the connection with her. I'm not saying that he I'm not saying that he maybe broke up properly or, yada, yada. He could have did the same. Listen to me. He could have ghosted her. And if he didn't ghost her, he could have just been very abrupt. He had shared with me in the past, when we were dating, he told me a story about how he did this one girl, that he had been messing with before, and how he just like kind of told her to get out the car, and and that whatever. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe he ghosted her. Maybe it whatever. Let me confirm one more thing real quick, because I want to see what happened in the connection while she was with him. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So while dating, so I just confirmed when he dated her, she did end up cheating. She cheated. Interesting, huh? Yep. She actually cheated on him. Now, I don't know, did he do the same? Because sometimes these situations be crazy. Like, people be cheating on each other and shit, pretend like they're not cheating on each other. Let's see. Jeez. Well, okay. They cheated on each other. Maybe he found out that she cheated as well. Okay, but he was investing in her. So he found out she was cheating, woo-de-woo. I don't know if that's the reason for the end, but it ended. There must be a connection, and I didn't get that far either, but there has to be, because once again, in this case, in this reading, what is the likelihood? What is the likelihood? This is why feminine noticed some of the shit she know. She ain't crazy. What's the likelihood of her or her family ending up in the same complex, and not only just the same complex, but up under them? It's something to do with a cult or a toxic group that is somehow tied to Beaumont Housing Authority, if this is pertaining to Beaumont, Texas for some of you, or wherever you are. Housing Authority, the somewhere the person connected to where feminine and her children were previously. There is direct line, there is a connection, because how likely is that to be? Especially, okay, feminine or children, like, you know, they just landed where they landed. They, you know, chances are they were trying to get away from so much shit. So how? This person is a distorted witch, as is possibly her roommate and the roommate's brother, cousin, friend that was fucking with, that was friends with feminine's ex. Yep. Hmm. And but claim to be, you know, like I said, they could have had a social media. Feminine's ex could have been all supportive and helping, but something went, I don't know what happened with all that. Maybe they still do. You know why feminine don't know? Because she don't care. And she ain't a weirdo stalker. She's too busy in her own shit. um, but I can see where this, how this, I see it. It's written all over the walls. So they were, you know, he, like I said, all been a part of the whole stealing and, you know, stopping and trying to stop and block honorable feminine to fuck with her, to take some, like this whole little project that they all had going here. The cop, the cop's role, as I said, I wasn't getting relative in this case. It's like I say, friend, associate, something like that. So that's where all of that kind of blended in. We talk about the exploitation of resources, power, connections. Okay? This is how this stuff actually comes to be. Especially because you got to look at it this way. I believe that this karmic feminine, the one that dated the ex of feminine, may very well be narcissistic without a diagnosis. I'll show you why in a minute. It's already out. But with that being said, a lot of smoke and mirrors and illusion. And what they tend to do is exploit everyone's weaknesses or everyone's blind spots. And they are very good at triangulation. And let me give you an example. Because some may wonder, how do they get people in on shiznit? Well, first and foremost, if they know you, they're studying you, they know about you. So then they're going to lean into that to get you on board. They're going to put some lies, you know, because they got to give you, if you're a decent person, they're going to have to give you something, okay, to make you feel like you should do what they ask you to do. They got to give you something. They can't, you know, they can't just say, yeah, yes, I'm toxic and I'm tripping. And would you do me a favor? No, it has to be, I'm going to tell them this person did something to me. I'm going to tell them this person, I'm going to appeal to their Christianity. I'm going to, whatever it is they can do to really, or insecurity, if they know that a person may have some similar insecurities that they can like capitalize on to get them on board. Okay, they'll do that as well. That could be somewhat how the cop came to be. I don't know. I know that the cop or the cop's mother or mother figure, it has connections with housing authority. I do know that. Remember, when you talk about small towns, more often than not, it, more often than not, they all know each other. When you're talking about these arenas, whether this is housing authority, whether this is property management arena, because that's an arena in itself, okay. Um, so when that's the case, it makes a lot of sense of how that was utilized, okay. And if all these people been stalking feminine from the gate, can you see it yet on social media, unbeknownst to her? Okay. Now, let's fast forward to the reading. These people have been doing spell work. This is possibly either the person or the roommate that was sprinkling dust and shit. Okay, dust and sprinkle from the balcony. Okay, that's just one of many things they do. Okay, one of many. They are behind putting garbage, possibly tied with lace, whatever, weirdy spells, and all sorts of shit. Okay, on top of this, the stalking and following her around, on top of the excessive noise, past the quiet hours, during quiet hours, I should say. It's even amplified then. Okay, see it yet? We'll give you a good picture. Now, let's fast forward. Something happened. Okay, Honorable Feminine and her team, pertaining to something recent, something happened. Feminine wasn't having it, and neither was her team. Pertaining to their spell work. And also as feminine leaves, because listen to me. When feminine leaves, she go to the mall, she walks to the wherever. Sometimes she likes to toy with her stalkers, and she has a little bit of fun with that sometimes. But anyway, as she does this, like I said, these people usually they have friends and connections. A lot of these people ain't been here their whole existence. Okay? And got friends that work over here and friends that work over there. And when you're dealing with, places like circuits, the circuit, which is kind of the area in which the karmic women are living at and where feminine has to be, then the common thing to do is proximity. So all of those places, the restaurants, the mall, the gym, all that makes sense, doesn't it? Walmart, all of those places typically are gonna have people that they know there. Okay. So if they themselves can't get there and be there, they'll cue somebody. Feminine's gonna read and scan and pick up the energy every fucking time. They can come pretending. It's like, bitch, you working? It's your bitch, you working? I think feminine could have accidentally said it out loud. She could have accidentally said that shit out loud yesterday. When she was done, by the time she was finished with one of her games she was playing, by the time she was finished with just sitting and chilling and relaxing, no talking. It was no talking. It was like, I'm just gonna turn around, and she went online. She went live. Total silence though. But that was on purpose. And on cue, all of a sudden, 2 employees from this particular restaurant, which is plausible, right? You work there, you take a break. That's the break area. Huh? Makes sense? So they come out loud, youngsters. They come out loud, disruptive, okay, with their e-cig and in some case possible cigarette, and they, and I want to say they were either Caucasian, Mexican. I could be wrong. So, but they sit there, and then, but they're fidgety. Feminine don't flinch. She don't move. They kept trying to, it's almost like they kept trying to get on camera. Feminine figured out that they're trying to entrap her possibly and set it up like she's recording them or something. So she made it a point to move her camera no matter where they moved, okay? Because we just wasn't gonna do that, okay? She already see what they've been doing. So, but she kept doing what she's doing. So they sat there, kept chit-chatting, and they was like, well, come on, we got wooty-woo. All fidgety. Then they gets up and go inside, or so it seems, or on the other side of the wall. Okay? And feminine stays where she was because she wasn't budging. And she was like, nope, send them all. She actually wanted that. She had a strategy. Okay, send them all. And these same 2 chicks came back and forth, these employees of this restaurant, back and forth about 3 times before feminine left. In a time span, so we want to say within maybe an hour, because it was maybe an hour that feminine, just sat and relaxed there, maybe. If a full hour. Okay. So as feminine, when she was done and as she was getting up, they came back for the 3rd time or 4th time. And as she was getting up and leaving, feminine could have said out loud, shit, do you work or do you just have the name tag? Because okay, yeah, it is plausible that you can be on a break or your lunch or something, but it was something very, very peculiar about it. Okay? But again, feminine didn't let her detour. She didn't let it, stop her, because essentially that's what these people are doing. Let me go over there and just plop and sit right in front of her. Let me go and just park my car and point it towards her and so we can disrupt her, so we can get her to get up and move and disrupt her little plan. Okay, so feminine just accepted, like, okay, she played with that in her mind yesterday. Like, whether she was right or wrong about what she believed that was, she just accepted it. Like, I'm not going to let that disrupt. I'm going to sit here as long as I want to sit here. And when I'm done sitting here, then I will get going. Okay? Now, feminine, as typically usual, a trillion cards are swarming her constantly. She traps them up, especially if she's toying with them. She pulls them out. Yep. She traps them up. You know, because they'll try to somehow like try to stay blended but obvious, but sometimes the feminine will pull them out. She'll draw them out to where they're going to have to be, they're going to have to be a sore thumb. Okay? So feminine could have been enjoying, like I said, nature. She wanted to find her a tree, grass, you know, all those things. She knows, okay, how to connect, and it's the benefits of it. Does it fix your life problems? No. She values, people stupid. She values the benefit energetically, okay, holistically. And she knows about this, you know, psychological warfare, government tactics, and she knows about the buzzwords and, you know, what people do to get in her energy or to drop a you know, word magic, and she know about that shit. She also knows how people try to passively, energetically connect by trying to force engagement, okay? So she's aware of all of these subtle tactics to get close to her, to get in her energy, to get her to stop what she's doing and to pay them the attention. In other words, to give them the energy, to give them the focus. Okay? To interrupt, follow me, what she's doing. But at the same time of trying to embarrass or shame or make a mockery of her, or to try to make her feel like it's something wrong with her for who she is and her practices, though they're the ones following her around like a weirdo. Okay? So feminine could have did this yesterday before going to that restaurant, and the same bitch that did it weeks and weeks ago as feminine was walking about driving, talking about, ma'am, are you okay? The same hussy, the same floozy. Because feminine also remembers voice. Yes, she does. The same floozy came around. Okay? Ma'am, are you okay? And what did she say that for? Was feminine? Like I said, I make these jokes because people are obvious. Was she bite? I bet you they ain't gonna say that to some homeless man. They ass gonna actually pretend like they can't see, roll the window up. You know what I'm saying? Some homeless, somebody sitting there, you know, with a cardboard, you know, on the ground. They ain't gonna do shit. Right? Feminine Was feminine doing something out of the ordinary? No, she was doing something that their limited minds can't understand. Or that they want her to feel some kind of way, trying to make her uncomfortable for practicing the things that she honors and the things that works for her, minding her business. At least she ain't fucking being a weirdo harasser, chasing people around the damn town, beckoning them to be a part of her cult. So feminine was basically possibly hugging a tree, standing near a tree and putting her feet on the branches, especially if it was a big tree, because they got old ancient energy. Okay. And she was connecting chakras, her energy fields. Her auric field, because it's said to, if you stand under a tree, it's also said to can work wonders for the auric field too. Okay, that's what she was doing. And then she was having her fun, being silly, possibly stretching, taking that opportunity to stretch while there. The stomping on the earth and ground, that's it's vibration that happens with that, a signal, and you can connect. See, but we ain't gonna get too deep into that. That's not what this is about. The whole point, these are all people that's connected. In its attempt to trigger something about, trying to make feminine either anxious, or to make her question her sanity, or to try to make her feel shame or embarrassed for who she is and what she does, which is not going to work. Because it's just not going to work. These folks really need to be shamed for being stalkers. But the blind, yeah, that's okay. Because there's no concern, but you see the illusion. You ain't worrying about feminine, ma'am. Are you okay? You get it. So feminine don't engage. You know why? Because this is what she's learning. And simultaneously, she's communicating, though, in her mind, what she wants done with what they did. Them trying to get her to split. Them trying to get her to depersonalize. Now let's keep going. You all are looking at partial screen here that's talking about dark feminine energy. There is a positive side to dark feminine energy. Honorable feminine uses that. It says sensual and seductive, passionate, chooses her battles wisely, accountable, has boundaries, assertive, and empathetic, or something like that, because it's cut off on that side. On the toxic side of dark femininity, you got lack, compassion, no boundaries, manipulative, toxic, aggressive, fearful, codependent, envious, jealous, insecure, and over emotional. So you have a positive side of dark femininity, but then you have the karmic side of it. This is representing light and dark feminine energy on the benevolent side, the honorable side, the higher vibrational side of it. It has a purpose. But this is the difference though. Okay? The lighter side is intuitive, I can't see what this one is. Nurturing, uh, graceful, empathetic. I can't see that other word. And then on the other side is mysterious, seductive, assertive, alluring. I wish I could see it clearly. Passionate. Okay. But see, these are the positive attributes on both light and dark. Okay. The other gave the breakdown of positive dark feminine, or more benevolent, whole, than the side that's from the wounded, karmic-y. Okay? Now, give me 1 second here. Exaggerate problems, often attention seeking. They may overreact to minor things. Unnecessary conflict could be used to describe someone who enjoys creating drama or chaos in social situation. Individuals who exhibit certain behaviors, extreme emotional displays, excessive crying, excessive anger. Okay. So, anywho, let's just get back to the message. I'm gonna possibly end this so that I can come back and give you all the reading that's here, so it could be kind of separate instead of one just big long video. Because I do need to learn how to minimize and pull back. This is crazy. These people have been doing spell work around the clock. They're doing spell work. They hiring people to do spell work. They're stalking. And this person is infuriated now to get to the message. They're infuriated because there's something is ricocheting pretty heavy. It's frustrating them because there's some kind of honesty coming forth. Maybe people are starting to tell them something like it is. The cop may even be, and I don't know it for certain yet, but the cop may very well be saying to this person, like, this is getting too serious. This ain't fun no more. This ain't cute. This is not a joke. We can say what we want about the person. We may not like them, but the truth of the matter is they're being honest. The bottom line is that they're being honest about what's happening. And, the cop could have been like, yeah, this needs to stop. We don't need to be doing this. I don't want to do it anymore. We don't need to be doing it. It's a possibility they're feeling like this is getting too serious. This jealousy is getting out of control. And it's just not worth it. Possibly for the cop. The cop might be, they may be trying to just say, hey, I maybe don't like this woman either, but I need to just mind my own business. I need to do my life. I have a life. I have a career. I don't have to like her. I don't have to like her, and it is not my business. And she don't bother nobody. So this just needs to stop. Maybe we done took this too far, and it's gonna have too deep of possible ramification if we keep at this. okay? This could also be infuriating this karmic woman too, because again, if people who are once a part of her weird toxic misfits group team, we hate this lady because of our jealousy and insecurities and da. Okay? And we want to make problems. If any of these people start deciding that they don't want to do it anymore, this person gets pissed. She gets angry. I think her roommate, is scared of her and or, don't want to deal with the fact that she's got to live with her, so that means that they're sharing responsibilities, and she could be concerned like this person is not going to do, she going to spaz out, she going to trip, and hell, she going to start doing spells on me, or, she ain't going to pay her rent, or she going to, and so this person feels like feminine's connection to her higher self with High Priestess of Spirit is complicating her game. It's complicating the work that she's putting in and the illusions that she's managed to create in her plan, whatever monies and supports she was really hoping to continue to have access to, and to, she was offered things, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna end this here. I'm gonna refresh, and then I'm gonna keep all the cards out because the reading is already done. I actually did the complete reading. And I will come back on, and you'll see the cards. We'll share all of that so you can see for yourself here on the table. And boy, honorable feminine, child. What kind of mood? You might be somewhere shaking your head. What kind of mood you, bitch? That's weird. This is weird. Oh, good gravy. Okay, it's okay. It's okay, because you're just starting to follow your guidance. When you feel all their nasty energies and stuff, shit is kicking in, because they didn't stop. They did the little does, wooty woo. Okay, boom, y'all. You and your team handled that. You went out about people's doing shit there, boom. Okay, came back, you and your team handled that, boom. Then in the wee hours of the night, which is typically when they do what they do. This is something that they've been doing. Okay, when they think you're asleep. When they think you're asleep, when they think you're tired or too tired to, whatever. Not anymore. Because you ain't gonna even think twice. Boom. It's gonna be like, really? You're gonna do some things real quick. Sometimes it ain't as involved as people think, but you're gonna do some things. And it's gonna be pop! Just like that. You may even telepathically communicate. Like, keep on, bitch. Keep on. Keep on. Your whole little coat and coven about to feel this. You're gonna feel this. And they did. They did something in the wee hour of the morning, around 3 a.m., between 2:30 and 3 a.m. Thank you. Calm. Feminine. Really? She said. Anywho.